Welcome back. There is a new leak in the iPhone world for the upcoming iPhone 15 series. There was some news, quite a few leaks as of a few months ago, and just in the past 1 or 2 months it's pretty quiet. And then today there was a leak confirming that the iPhone 15 Pro Max or Ultra, whichever they decide to name it as, but their premier big flagship device, the most expensive, most prestigious device that Apple's going to release this September, is set to keep the same camera and the same display. Now, they plan on keeping the same 48 megapixel camera. It's not a bad thing. Actually, I think the opposite. I think it's a good thing. Take Google, for example. Google just switched camera sensors last year, but they stayed with a 12 megapixel camera. Google did for their Pixel series for about 5 years. Now, why would they do that? When everybody else is trying to bump up their megapixels and we have a 60 megapixel, we have a 48, a 42, 50. Well, I think Apple's taking a play out of Google, or Apple's taking a page out of Google's playbook, because the reason why Google stayed with that 12 megapixel camera for so long is because they refined it every year. They knew exactly if they tweak something in the software, how it would react. They literally took that 12 megapixel sensor, and it was probably one of the best sensors in history as far as a sensor that you squeeze every drop of performance out of. Google mastered that with that 12 megapixel camera, and you see that now with their new sensor that was in the Pixel 6 series, and now in the Pixel 7 series, and it looks like they're going to carry on that same sensor to the Pixel 8 series. And again, they're doing that because they're tweaking it ever so slightly every year. See, when you move on to a new sensor every year, you got to move on to new coding, with a new kernel base, and there's just a whole bunch of coding where you have to basically pair it with the software, with the camera software, with the image software. And every now and then, you may have a hit, you tweak something, it messes something else up. Well, they stay with the same sensor because they already know how it's going to react. So it's a lot easier for the Apple developers, the iOS developers, to modify and or tweak what they're doing with that sensor when you're familiar with something, right? It's like your car. You drive the same car every day, you know exactly what to do with it, how it's going to react, how it's going to operate on the road, how it's going to, like I said, react in certain situations, right? Same thing with these sensors. So this is a good thing, in my opinion, for Apple fans, that they're sticking with the same sensor, because it means you're going to get better image quality moving forward. Not every time when you bump up megapixels, it means immediate better image quality. Does not always mean that. It means more headaches for developers. So this is a good thing. I'm glad to see them stay with this. Secondly, they're going to stay with that same display. They're not going to improve and or add upon a new display. The display they have right now is pretty damn good. I mean, it's up there with the Samsung Galaxy S23 display, which I'm recording on. Again, at this point in the smartphone world, there's just not I mean, of course there is, I'm moving in the future, but right this second, I'm sure in the boardroom, they're saying, hey, look, we can upgrade to this display. It's going to cost 20% more, but man, it's going to be awesome. And Apple's probably looking at the numbers saying, why are we going to upgrade when it's going to cost us more, when the display we have, we could probably get another year out of it. They'll probably upgrade the following year, this time next year. But right now, it's so damn good. Why change? Again, if something's so good and you have a really good product, why change it? Now, Apple is going to see huge changes with the iPhone 15, not with the display of the camera, but with the hardware, how it's going to look on the outside. Do y'all know how the iPhone, not the iPhone, the Apple Watch, the 8 series, the new one that just came out, you know how the Ultra looks compared to the other ones? Well, their iPhone, the 15, the Pro, and the Pro Max are going to take on that same design language as the Apple Watch 8 Series Ultra. It's going to have where's my other phone? The edge of the phone right here. Now, this is not an iPhone or a watch, but I'm going to present it to you, show you what they're going to change. They're going to change the frame of the device, the mid frame of the device here. It's going to look like that Apple Watch, where it's going to be rounded on the sides here, but then right at the top, it's going to have a little indent and then come up where the display is. I'll try to put a picture up here. If I don't, sorry, I'm in a rush. But anyways, it will look different. It's going to look cool. I love the new look. Now, it's not a drastic change to where you're like, whoa, what is that? It's going to be a subtle change, but you're immediately going to be able to tell the difference. You're going to be like, oh, they changed that. But it looks cool. Now iPhone, the reason why they stay with their design for so long is because, again, they got something that really works, so why change it, right? Going back to the camera sensor. Well, this time, I think they've had this in the playbook for a few years as far as this design. And they're like, this iPhone, 13, 14, 15s are kind of getting stale. We need something to spice up the sales, something that people will want to go out and buy. This is going to be it. I actually like it better than the 13 and 14 style, where it's kind of a bunch of 90-degree angles, sharp angles on them, not much rounded. So this new iPhone 15 is going to look awesome. Now, if you go back to I'm going to try to finish this up. My wife is expecting me. I'm at home in the driveway recording a video. If you go back and watch some of my previous videos, like I said at the beginning, 3 or 4 months ago, there's a ton of news. Now, in the past month or two, not so much. Now there's this. But real quick, the Apple is going to get rid of the dynamic island on the iPhone. Not this year, that she's calling. Not this year, but next year. So about in a year and a half or 2 years, no more dynamic island. It's going to be under display, I believe. Okay, I gotta go. I'll see you later. Peace. Sorry about that. I'm going to paste these two together. So like I was saying, I know I exited the video very quickly, but the dynamic island that everybody, love it or hate it, but most people like it. I mean, it is cool for what it is. It's more of an aesthetics thing than a usability thing or productivity thing, but they are planning on getting rid of the dynamic island or going for a very small pinhole. Now probably 2, because they have the Face ID. It needs a 3D picture scan of your face, so you're gonna have 2 sensors, not just one like Android has. But they are planning on getting rid of it. So I think they're gonna release it with this iPhone 15, possibly 16, but definitely will not be on the 17, which is a couple years away. But by then, we should have under display front cameras. Now, Xiaomi, the Chinese phone maker, has already released phones with for 18 months now, with phones that have under display front cameras. Samsung on their Fold series devices have a under display sensor. It's just not gotten to the point where Apple needs a crystal clear 3D image of your face, and the under display camera is not quite there yet. The tech isn't quite there yet. It will be, and Apple's working on it. So this year should be cool. For the iPhone, it's going to have USB Type-C. So that should be cool, and see if we get some workarounds, because Apple's trying to only have it charge your phone or transfer data if you only have an Apple certified cable, which means they're going to double the price and charge you all up the wazoo. But anyways, we will get all the Apple news and iPhone news and Android news to you as fast as possible. As soon as I hear something, I will put it out, assuming that it has credibility. I'm not just going to throw any wild news out there. And subscribe to the channel. We got a ton of reviews, case reviews, Pixel news, Samsung Galaxy news, Apple news. I just got the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, the jumbo one. Big, huge tablet. It's badass. But I'm using that right now. Just got it yesterday. I'm gonna use it for a little while, then review it and tell you everything I like, I don't like. So stay tuned to the channel. We got a ton of reviews and cool stuff. So